Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. I recorded a post-game video already, but I cannot believe what I just saw. I just can't believe what I saw. Like, we needed them to do one thing. And that's something that they are the best in the game at doing. Apparently, we thought they were, but they're not. We can't be the best at anything. But that's something that we needed them to do, was lose 2 more games. 2 more games. You just need to lose 2 more games. Keep the number 1 pick. I got on here and streamed and celebrated when the Raiders won, because I'm like, there's no way that the Giants, especially the Drew Lock that we saw last week, that threw a pick 6, that fumbled and then did something else and like turned the game around in a blink of an eye. That Drew Lock, that I'm like, there's no way this dude is coming out here and winning a game this year. Colts, Smalts, Falcons, Rowkins, Jaguars, Smash, like whatever, whoever you're playing, there's no way that this dude is winning this game. And can you believe that Drew Lock went out here 17 for 23, 309, 4 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, 20 rushing yards or 5 rushing yards on that touchdown, 155.3 quarterback rating. So basically a perfect game from Drew Lock. These two things don't belong in the same sentence. A perfect game from Drew Lock. Like, are you kidding me? 5 touchdowns and 45 points, a kick return for a touchdown where no one even touched Smith Marset, a kickoff for a touchdown, 2 interceptions on a team that couldn't get an interception to save their lives. Malik Neighbors, they could never get on the ball when we needed, when we were excited and saying, let's get Malik Neighbors the ball. 171, 7 catches, 2 touchdowns. We're missing out on Malik. I had people in my stream telling me last week, Malik isn't the guy that he thinks he is because he doesn't get yards after contact. Well, today, guess what? Today, he got 2 long yak plays. 60 yards, 30 yards. I mean, he just went crazy today. He looked like LSU Malik Neighbors. Wan'Dale Robinson, open all over the field. 71 yards today. I mean, catching stuff on the sideline. Like, ridiculous stuff today. None of it made any sense. Brian Burns was unblockable. Was unblockable. I'm surprised he didn't force a fumble today because he was unblockable. I mean, of course, Kayvon Thibodeau was nowhere to be found, but we just don't know about all the hard work that he puts in to be a background. We don't know about all that hard work he puts in. But nonetheless, when we needed a shot at one of these top 2 quarterbacks, this team stepped up and put up their middle fingers and just told us to go kick rocks. And meanwhile, Jermaine Illuminor is tweeting out, this one is for the fans. Are you kidding me? Jermaine, did you not want a good quarterback throwing behind you next year? Malik, did you not want a good quarterback throwing behind you next year? I can only imagine what the quotes are going to be, because I know they're going to ask these players, what do you think about the fans that were upset that you won today? And what do you think they're going to say? Do you think these players are going to go out here and lose on purpose? No. But at the end of the day, it's still frustrating. It's still frustrating. Now, this is the situation that we're in, folks. As Tankathon's site was broken, Tankathon's site was broken after this game. It didn't even work. Now, we have the 3rd overall pick now. The strongest strength of schedule between us and the 11th pick. We have the strongest strength of schedule because we just played all these good teams. We're 3rd overall. We're 3rd overall. The Tennessee Titans are in front of us, which they're a threat to take the quarterback. The Patriots are in front of us. They're not going to take a quarterback, but they could very well be saying, we're going to trade this pick to the highest bidder. Now, the Browns are behind us. They're right behind us at 4, and they're playing right now against the Dolphins. The Dolphins have already put up 3 points. They've already gone and put up 3 points. The Browns are in the red zone, so they just put up 3 points now, so they're tied. But if they win today, we'll keep the 3rd pick. And I think this is how the draft will play out. But if they lose, we're going to have the 4th pick. And if we have the 4th pick, we're going to be behind two teams that need quarterbacks. So that means we're going to have to outbid. I don't know what these balloons are that just popped up. Ignore that. Who knows what planet they came from. But if we have two teams ahead of us that need a quarterback, guess what? We're going to have to outbid one of those teams. We're going to have to outbid Cleveland to go up and get a quarterback. And neither one of these two quarterbacks, while I do believe that if you're there at the top of the draft, you take one. At the same time, are they worth trading up to the first overall pick? And on top of that, giving up next year's one and this year's two and this year's four? And maybe even the following year's one? Are they worth that? Is this a generational prospect at quarterback? No, neither one of them. And this isn't saying that they won't even be Hall of Fame players. I don't know. They could be. It's possible. But neither one of them are worth giving all of that up for. So right now, the only way the Giants are getting a quarterback is if the Patriots practice. Their practice is so crazy that they say we're not taking any calls and we're taking Travis Hunter first overall. We're not taking any calls, and Tennessee takes their quarterback and then we take ours, and Cleveland wins today. That's our only shot at a quarterback if we don't trade. But I'm telling you right now, there's like a 90% chance. There's like a 90% chance that the only way the Giants are going to get a quarterback now, and as far as the top two, is trading a pick. And we're going to have to trade at least next year's one, at least this year's 2 or 3. And I don't think that's worth it. Now, we have a ton of picks. A ton of situations we can look into as far as going out and getting a player. Like Travis Hunter could possibly be there if they trade their pick that New England does. Will Johnson, Mason Graham, good players, really good players. Ted McMillan possibly, Abdul Carter, a lot of really good players that we could take that I think are going to be Pro Bowl players pretty quickly for us. That's possible. But at the same time, none of those players are going to turn this franchise around. People said, a quarterback. Do you really think a quarterback is going to turn your franchise around? Do you think that a cornerback is going to turn your franchise? Do you think that a defensive tackle is going to turn? Do you think that a wide receiver is going to turn your whole franchise around and turn you into a winning team? No. None of these things are. So why not go after the most important position? And then people will say, well, listen, we're only at 3 or 4, so, we could just trade up. Maybe they believe that much in it. Well, think about this, people. If Joe Schoen is rumored to his job is safe, then he trades next year's 1, this year's 2, this year's 4, and he gets fired. The next GM comes in there. They don't like Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. So they don't have a first round pick to replace the quarterback. And essentially they're going to be in there saying, I don't like this quarterback. And you're condensing your pool of GM candidates at that point. You're forcing them to stay with that quarterback, and you're not even giving them an opportunity to do something drastic and moving on from that guy after the first year. So it's a complete mess. At this point, bring Joe Schoen back, bring Brian Daboll back, let them coach next year, let them go out there and bring in a bridge quarterback, let them coach next year and pick another draft class and just watch them continue to be in the exact same position next year. They'll be in this exact same position next year, and they will win just enough games. They'll be about 4, 5, 6 wins. And they'll be right there at the top of the draft, not able to get a quarterback once again. That's where they'll be. And let them go out there and win today. Let them go out there and deal with this mess next year, because you're putting whatever head coach is taking over, because now this job became a lot less attractive. You're not coming in here being able to take your quarterback. You're coming in here saying, we don't necessarily have an option at quarterback. What are you looking at? Justin Fields. Nothing much else. You know, there's no real bridges there. And don't get me started on Drew Lock. Drew Lock's not gonna do this again. Drew Lock had the best game of his life to screw us over. The best game of his life to screw us over. Like the best game of his life, 5 touchdowns from Drew Lock. Are you kidding me? That's the best game we've had from a quarterback since 2019. Since Daniel Jones against the Commanders. So it is what it is, folks. The Giants are probably not getting their quarterback of the future. Bring back Shane, bring back Dable, run it back. Let them deal with this. Because no one should come, like whoever comes in here is going to be at a severe disadvantage. Let him spend up all the money in free agency. Let him trade all our future for let him trade it all. Whatever.